Over 10 years ago, a wealthy art dealer buried $2 million worth of treasure somewhere. Well, now someone has finally cracked those clues and found the treasure.
The location of this treasure will almost certainly lead many searchers astray, some toward court and others toward jail.
From secret caves of war eras.
Well, this is our World War II air raid shelter that was put in the garden start of the war.
To discovering hidden tunnels.
According to historians here in the Alton area, this tunnel was probably put in here around 1840.
Not of their houses, but these people opened the doors to prehistory.
Northern California is known as gold country, and family near San Francisco struck it rich in their own backyard.
You see our gold? Right there. Eureka, we're rich!
Offering a glimpse into our ancient world, tag along to explore these hidden treasures that shock the whole world.
Oh my gosh, what's that?
It's got an Olympic sign. What?
No way!
California is currently experiencing a gold rush similar to the famous one in 1849.
Eureka! We found gold!
Thanks to a wet winter with lots of snow and rain, the flowing water is moving valuable metals downstream.
I just found some earring-sized pieces right here. These are some, what I call a nugget right here.
People are getting ready and going out to try and find their fortune. The phenomenon is happening because the water is moving away gold pieces from where they were.
You see our gold? Right there. Eureka, we're rich!
It is carrying them downstream. This has given modern-day gold hunters a chance to search for gold in rivers and streams all over California. That is when gold was first found at Sutter's Mill.
Eureka! We found gold! Woo!
Backyard Cave. A home in San Antonio, Texas gained attention due to the discovery of a unique feature, a backyard cave. It was uncovered either by the homeowners themselves or during renovations of the property.
My husband noticed that there was just a little bitty holes and there was air coming out of the hole.
The exact size and structure of it haven't been widely detailed, but it had 3 rooms, with each room larger than the previous one. And the older it was, the more beautiful it became.
We have an Edwards Aquifer cave and the rooms get bigger as you go down. They're vertical rooms.
They decided to sell the property, and before they knew it, its value skyrocketed into millions of dollars. This is what you call being lucky.
The cave is unique because the roof is slanted, and that's unusual for a Texas cave.
$2,000 cash discovery. A man was conducting routine maintenance on his property when he made a surprising discovery. Hidden under his porch was over $2,000 in cash,
tightly rolled 10s and 20s into this Taylor pork roll.
Dating back to 1934. When he determined the value of this money, they were worth around $43,000 in today's standard. This is what we call a treasure from today's perspective. He thought that perhaps the money was hidden there by a thief, or maybe the owner at that time felt it was safer to hide it there than to deposit it in the bank.
Either somebody robbed a bank and buried it there, or somebody didn't trust the banks and they just said, I'm going to bury it under my house.
This find not only held monetary value, but also carried significant historical interest. Century-old tombs. During renovations at St. Mary's Church in Lambeth, London, workers made a surprising discovery, a previously unknown crypt containing approximately 30 coffins. This find was unexpected, as the existence of the crypt had been largely forgotten or overlooked by historians and local authorities. Among the coffins, there were signs suggesting that a former leader of the Church of England, likely an Archbishop of Canterbury, was buried there. The discovery also included other notable figures from the church's history, spanning several centuries. This find is important because it tells us more about the church's role in religious and political life throughout history. Tunnel beneath house. Who could expect to find a tunnel beneath a house? In 2021, an Illinois resident noticed that his sidewalk was starting to slope. When he looked at it, he saw there was a space beneath it, which, guess what, turned out to be the path of a secret tunnel. With the help of workers, he entered and found a properly constructed tunnel that was approximately 2.7 meters tall and 2.7 meters wide. When they researched the history of the house, they realized that it was built in 1890. But the tunnel is believed to date back to 1840.
According to historians here in the Alton area, this tunnel was probably put in here around 1840.
Meaning it had been there for about 50 years. A real flashback to the past, right? Baseball card collection. You may have seen a lot of baseball fans, but not as much as the one I'm about to show you. Recently in 2022 in Boise, Idaho, a woman bought a fixer-upper house and started renovating its rooms. The bedroom in the entire house needed the most renovation.
When this woman bought a fixer-upper house, she had no idea what was behind one of the bedroom walls.
And when she peeled off its lime green wall, there were not 100, not 500, but 1,600 baseball cards placed there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Baseball cards just kept coming. Oh my goodness, look at all these baseball cards.
She could have chosen to destroy all of that by repainting, but she didn't. Instead, she called the previous owner of the house and found out that this had been his childhood bedroom where he had placed all those.
Get the glue on the back and then stick them up here and get them into a spot, get them stuck up there next to each other as well as we could until they would stay.
He was delighted to see all of that, and the kind woman chose not to destroy it. She decided for a strange approach to place new tiles for someone else to discover them again. Secrets revealed. Freddie Goodall, a 23-year-old property developer from Sussex, discovered hidden rooms in his 500-year-old family home. While looking through old photos, he noticed a doorway in the library that was missing in the current room. Removing a panel, he found a dark, empty room behind it. He then discovered a secret passageway under another panel on the floor. Climbing a ladder in one of the rooms, he found a larger, dusty room with cobwebs and a wasp nest. Inside, he found steps leading to another passageway. He also found old-school books and desks used in the 1900s, when the property was an educational institution. It was like one home with many stories. Secret safe. A man bought a house in Florida which looked normal until one day he discovered a safe buried inside a broken tile. But the safe was locked, and his efforts to open it turned out to be a failure.
Really anxious to find out what's inside the safe. I'm hoping maybe gold bars or something.
So he got an expert to open it. Now I know you're curious, just like he was, about what was inside.
Are you ready to find out what's inside?
Yeah.
It was a gold coin.
It looks like it's gold. Gold.
He checked the value of the coin online, and it was worth $187.
$187.
Wow, $187?
Yeah.
I wish I could find something like that in my house too. Remains of Roman house. In Turkey, two officials came to inspect a large hole in the road. They went down to look at it closely, and there was something unexpected there. The remains of what was once the dwelling of a wealthy Roman family. The site was around 2,700 years old and includes a fluted column and a tile mosaic on the floor. Everything was really fascinating, but the mosaic was special. Researchers believe the elaborate decorations reflect the high status and wealth of the family who lived there. Buried Ferrari. You might have heard about finding hidden rooms or money buried underground, but have you ever heard of a Ferrari being buried there? No? Let me tell you about it. A group of children in South Los Angeles were digging in a backyard when they felt something strange. This happened in February 1978. The family later informed the authorities, who discovered the long-lost car. Yes, the police confirmed that a citizen filed a report about his missing car 4 years earlier, and now it had been found here. While the police applauded the family for their honesty, they could never figure out who was behind all this. Ancient things. We've all hidden our school report cards at some point due to bad marks, but I didn't know all this used to happen even in the 90s. But not just a report card. A man was renovating his Brooklyn brown stone when he found a report card from 1950.
Came up here during the demolition of the house, and we found this report card basically falling out of the wall.
Along with other items such as bags, books, pictures, an old hand fan, and various tools. The bag looked in the best condition among all the things there, making it seem like it belonged to a gentleman.
We found this satchel underneath the refrigerator, which had all sorts of tools that belonged to a gentleman who ran the subways.
It's always exciting when we find old things from our house. Huge cash sums. If you found millions in cash hidden in the wall of a new house you bought, what would you do? Back in 2018 in China, Jilin province, a man bought a new house. And shortly after moving in, he found a treasure, of this time hidden in the wall. This was actually a large sum of cash that the man found while renovating the house. I don't know whether he would have handed over the cash to the authorities himself, but even if he didn't, somehow the authorities found out and arrived soon after. Later, the police clarified that the money found was not a discovery, but rather part of a fraud case where criminals had hidden all the money there. Even though the criminals hid it so well, they didn't gain anything from it. Old raid shelter. World War II ended many years ago, but even today, we still come across different things in different parts of the world that remind us of it. In Norway, there is a house that is almost 80 years old and has carried a memory with it since then. In its yard, there is a hidden World War II air raid shelter that people built at that time to keep themselves safe.
This is our World War II air raid shelter that was put in the garden, obviously, at the start of the war.
The shelter was built quite deep underground and was approximately the size of a single room. People still come from afar to see it and think about what it was like during the war. Hidden room and coins. A Virginian family bought a new house where everything seemed normal, but one day they saw something strange. They noticed a latch on the floor.
And that's what our daughter saw. So when we came up, first thing we did is came down, just kind of popped the latch open.
Surprisingly, the latch led to a hidden door that opened to a room no one in the family knew existed.
Sure if it was on hinges or if it slid it kind of right out like that.
It was a small room with a light bulb, but the discovery didn't end there. There was a secret drawer below. When they opened it, they found 2 rare coins that looked like they were made of gold and silver.
Oh my gosh, what's that?
It's got an Olympic sign. What?
No way.
I don't know if the people who lived there before knew about it, but if they did, they probably wouldn't have left the coins there. 3,000-year-old statue. Back in 2016, in a small village in the Kyrgyzstan region of Ukraine, residents made a remarkable discovery: a stone statue believed to be approximately 3,000 years old. It's said to be quite big and was shaped in a way that shows how skilled the people who made it were. According to the experts, this statue likely belonged to one of the nomadic tribes. It was a common tradition for these tribes to place similar statues near graves or burial mounds. The nomads lived in this area from around 1000 BC until the end of the nomadic era. Ancient city. A Turkish homeowner chasing his chickens through a hole in his basement during renovations came across an abandoned underground Turkish city. When he knocked down the wall, he discovered a tunnel leading to the ancient city of Derinkuyu, once called Elingöba. This city was more than 85 meters deep and could house 20,000 people. It was the largest excavated underground city in the world. It connects to over 200 smaller underground cities found nearby. Derinkuyu has 18 levels of tunnels with homes, food storage, stables, schools, wineries, a chapel, and a ventilation system for fresh air and water. Maybe the chicken knew about it before anyone else. Treasure inside bargain. Emil Nodell, a man from Texas, made a remarkable discovery when he purchased a solid marble-topped, handcrafted walnut chest at an estate sale for $100. Upon examining the chest, he found a hidden compartment containing a treasure trove of valuable items, including gold and silver coins, pearls, diamonds, and bracelets with rubies and emeralds. Showing honesty, Nodell asked the company running the estate sale to get in touch with the original owner and return the chest and its contents. His decision to return the hidden valuables was widely praised, highlighting his honesty and setting a positive example. World War II bunker. Chris Scott, who bought a new house in Middlesbrough, made an unexpected discovery not listed in the property's details. While exploring his new home, he came across what he initially thought was a drain pipe cover. Upon opening it, he found a ladder leading underground to a Second World War bunker. The bunker, which dates back to the era when such structures were commonly built as air raid shelters, was in remarkable condition considering its age. It measured approximately 3 meters in length, 1.8 meters in width, and 1.8 meters in height. Inside, he found old bunk beds, storage shelves, and various artifacts from the wartime period. The discovery generated excitement and interest in the local community. Civil War headstones. A woman in Metro East, Illinois, made a haunting discovery in her backyard.
They were hitting something hard, so they kind of used their hands and a shovel, digging it away because they couldn't get through it.
After workers found headstones belonging to several Civil War veterans buried there during a new addition to her home.
They took the top part up and noticed it was a headstone.
The headstones, dating back to the Civil War era, were uncovered during construction or renovation work on her property. The discovery prompted further investigation into the history of the property and the cemetery that once existed there.
They were thinner and long, something like I've never seen.
Shedding light on the lives of the veterans who were buried there. Wars may end, but things linked to them always remain. Ancient arrowhead. A woman in Shoreline discovered what seems to be an ancient artifact in her backyard.
I'm down on the ground sifting through the dirt. I thought it resembled an arrowhead, but I couldn't be too sure.
While digging a new garden with her teenage son, she found an arrowhead buried just 6 to 8 inches deep in the soil. Experts think it could be between 2,500 and 4,000 years old and was probably used for hunting big animals like deer and elk.
That's amazing to think that something 6 inches under the ground could be 4,000 years old.
Arrowheads were important tools that give us clues about the history and culture of indigenous peoples who lived in the area long before modern times. Experts in archaeology or anthropology would need to examine it further to figure out how old it was.
Had it not been for what we're going through, we likely would have never found this.
World War II air raid shelter. There are still many things related to World War II that we don't know about, but they might be around our homes. This man's car tire was getting stuck in his driveway. When he checked, he saw that a hole was forming when the tire was stuck. He removed some slabs and found a proper pathway leading down.
After moving some of the slabs out of the way and investigating, we actually found at the top of a ladder.
When he went down, he discovered 2 rooms that were used as an air raid shelter during World War II. Who knows, there might be a shelter like that around our home too. 160 balls under yard. It's not necessary that you find treasure beneath the ground. Sometimes you can come across something weird as well. A man in Michigan was about to demolish the steps in his backyard. However, as he chipped away, he uncovered a collection of bowling balls in various colors buried under his house.
First, I couldn't tell. I kind of was dusting the sand away and I noticed a sphere.
There were a total of 160 bowling balls and was puzzled by how and why they had been placed there. But later he finally uncovered the reason, and it turns out that they originated from a bowling ball factory in the town that was now closed down and were used in the foundation of his house.
I feel very proud to have this American history in my backyard.
Ancient Mosaic. In 2019, an extraordinary discovery captured the world's attention. A remarkably well-preserved Roman mosaic and villa were unearthed beneath the farmer's field in Rutland, England.
This for me has been an absolute thrill, to be honest, to be involved with this, and I feel like we're very lucky to have discovered what we found.
This was important because the mosaic was one of the most preserved Roman mosaics ever found in the UK. It showed scenes from Homer's epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey. If we talk about the villas, they were fancy country homes owned by rich Romans, often decorated with detailed mosaics and surrounded by gardens and farms. This particular one in Rutland is believed to have been built in the late 2nd or early 3rd century AD, and people lived there until the end of the 4th century AD.
This for me has been an absolute thrill, to be honest, to be involved with this, and I feel like we're very lucky to have discovered what we found.
And now let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by a subscriber. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it to us. Who knows, we might even feature it in one of our videos. Who needs detectives when kids can solve every mystery? Like this little girl. When she asked her dad for a gift on her birthday, he gave her an old container and a secret task. When she opened the container, there wasn't anything special inside, but at the end, she found a map. It looked like a treasure map, but surprisingly, it was of her own house, even her own bedroom. It led her to believe that there might be a treasure hidden in her own bedroom. She didn't waste any time and started checking her room with her dad. Guess what? She found a hidden panel in her own room. She opened with her dad's help, and behind it was a secret room filled with treasure, including jewelry and coins.
But a secret room? That's pretty cool.
When this story got famous, it was found out that her dad had arranged all of this for her. Surely he was a super cool father.